Okay, guys, so today I really want to try out this bundle I had picked up from HSN. It's from Crafter's Companion. I believe it's just called Oh Christmas, and I thought it was kind of funny because the O is little, and that's what it's called on HSN, Oh Christmas. So there you go. I believe it's still available. If it is, I'll go ahead and link it there for you guys, along with anything else that's pertinent that I used today. I'll link it in the description box, possibly embed in the video here. Those will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission for your purchase items to those links. Kind of talked about these things already, thinking I probably already have these colors, but I'm going to go ahead and use them from this kit. I may have to pull some other colors in, depending on the subject matter. Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, we'll see. Because I can see there's like not a skin tone in here unless you're using like maybe the lightest of the brown color here, you know, I don't know. Yeah, for the penguin I think we'd be okay, possibly. It'll be interesting. We'll see. But it is a photopolymer stamp set that can spell out things like joy or holly or, you know, well, there's no happy. Everything's with an O. So basically anything that has like an O in there, Noel, I mean, all these kinds of cute things for snow, you know, I guess snowy even. Whatever you can come up with. Holly, jolly, why we did that. Okay, so I think I'll do joy, just a quicker one, so we can work on this. But what I want to do to begin is we are going to use alcohol ink marker paper because we have alcohol ink markers here when we go to color this in. But again, this doesn't have a lot of inspo. Let's see if it comes with any paperwork. A lot of times the paperwork is this. But that looks like it goes to their social media because this is Let's Get Social. Very big. Definitely photopolymer. It has that little chocolate smell. Sometimes I have like a chocolatey smell or a vanilla smell on top of the caustic smell of it, but I love the way these things smell. But anyway, let's see about the sizing. I mean, they're roughly like 2 inches, just over 2 inches maybe. This is a little bit smaller than 2 inches, so if that gives you an idea. What my plan is, I have a scrap piece of paper here to start, is basically for this kit, I'm going to make myself some masks. So let's say we're going to do joy, but you would do this with all the letters and just have them. I'll just keep them in here. That way I have it every time. I really like the little Rudolph kind of guy, right? Okay, and then a Y. So what I'm going to do, because we're going to have to mask this. So all the examples they gave were like in the demo, they look so cute. They're amazing. Great. You have to mask or else you're just going to have to put all your letters separately, which is fine. But it looks cuter if you do a little of this kind of thing. So these don't have to be perfect. Actually, maybe I'll stamp those two at the same time. We're just going to cut around this. So I just need some ink. Doesn't really matter. Just to have a rough idea because you're going to make masks. You can do this with Post-it paper. I'm just going to use this little scrap of cardstock and like I said, keep it in the kit. So I'll always have these to mask with. And I probably don't even have to use the Y and the J in this video as far as masking. What I need to mask is this. Or this goes behind the Y and the J. So it just depends on how you want to layer your stuff. I don't know. That's another thing to think about. That actually will give a different look, right? And you're going to have to fussy cut, guys. That's why I was like, honestly, I would have paid an extra 10, 15 bucks to have dies to go along with this. That would have been great because you can just use those for the masking. I suppose they probably didn't do that because then the die would have to be right on the letter and maybe that's not the way. I'm going to wash these. Sorry, guys. I was going to put them up, but then you can see they still have a lot of ink on them. So I will wash those before I put those away. And I'm going to do some fussy cutting. So, little cutter bees. Not too hard on this one. Basically, I'm going to cut right on the line, okay? You want these to basically mask so that it leaves a tight little border when you go to, you know, ink up and stamp whatever else you're going to stamp over it. So I'm going to cut right on the lines, not leaving any white space, okay? And again, with fussy cutting, you squeeze or add pressure with your dominant hand and turn the paper with your non-dominant hand, so that gives you a nice look. For this, I don't think it's that important because, you know, whatever. And then usually once I get to a certain spot, I kind of cut that away. So all we're going to do is a little of this, a little coloring, some matte layering, and that's going to be our card for today. But there we go. Just a technique of masking, I guess, is what we're focusing on today. Okay, so I'll do all those. I'm going to cut around this one. Sometimes I'll just cut things out just so I can get to this one. Now, this one, same thing. I'm just going to go around and yeah, it's a little more persnickety, but I don't, you know, again, really it's the edges that you're going to be stamping over. So even if this top part, honestly, was just like this, it'd probably be okay. It's really this where you're going to start like possibly stamping a Y over it or the J on top or whatever. So you want this part to be really crisp. Oh, maybe you're going to stack them this way. That'd be really cute though too, wouldn't it? I just thought of that. Anyway, but you know, if you don't like fussy cutting, there's shortcuts you can take is all I'm saying. But what if you were going to stamp them like this, like J-O and then Y? Long ways? That's very cute. Okay, well I was going to do it this way. And so I'll still do it that way, I suppose. But it would be cute long. Okay, I'm going to cut these guys out and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I already have these cut out. It's kind of on the smaller side, you know, the words that I'm coming up with, joy. Again, should this be on top? I don't know. It's kind of skinny, you know? Now I'm like, maybe I should do it this way. Because that gives me a little more in a card, and maybe I'll do like a mini slimline. That'd be 3.5 by 6. How about 4 by 6? How about a 4 by 6? Which I don't normally do, but I'm just looking at this and, you know. Okay, so let's say 4 by 6. So this is a piece of alcoholic marker paper. And it's seen brighter days here. I'm trying to see something. Okay. 4 by 6 and then plus, okay, a matte layer. 4 by 6. So if I do the first matte layer, 3 7/8 by 5 7/8. Sorry, I'm just trying to see how many layers I want to do because it is very skinny. So I'm like maybe more matte layers, you know, but I usually do 2 matte layers, like the matte layer and then plus this thing. So if we had 4 by 6, I guess I'll go 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. And I'm going to cut this piece off because actually this whole thing is kind of messed up. What am I doing? Let's do this one. Sorry. That paper was kind of messed up. I try to conserve this paper as much as I can, but I'll use that for something else. 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. Yeah. And then we are going to put this on a stamp positioner and all that, so I'll be right back. Okay, so we're going to stamp the O first, because if we stamp the O first, that means everything else can kind of go in there. Like I said, I don't need the mask for everything, but I have them now, so that's fine. So I actually did not wash my stamps off yet, because I was just doing what I was working on, but that should be okay. Let's put this guy right in the center, you know. Oh, and he can be kind of cute like this too. Maybe a little offset. So he's peeking out. A little fun. Oopsie. Oh my goodness. Stuck to my fingernail. Okay, so just a little bit offset. And we will ink him up. I am going to use a hybrid ink because I'm going to use, what's it called? Alcoholic markers, but you can change your mind and use water-based things, you know. Or if you just know you're going to use alcoholic markers, use a water-based dye ink so that it doesn't reactivate when you go to do your coloring. Okay. Do that a couple times. Again, photopolymer stamps have a sticky dispersion layer that you really kind of fight with a little bit at the beginning, or you try to, you know, wipe them off as well as you can with like maybe some alcohol, whatever it is. That looks pretty good. Okay, this is where our mask comes in. So I'm gonna keep these forever. And so then you just pop this guy in to cover up these areas, right? And I'm just gonna use a little piece of washi on the very side. Oh, okay. And we're gonna take our J and our Y. We can probably do them both at the same time, actually. So let's do that. I'm going to cover just a little bit. And I mean, well, maybe if that's that way, maybe this is this way, make it fun, right? Maybe this one a little bit this way. Wait, no, this way also. Is that weird? That's kind of weird. Let's just leave it like this. If I had more letters and to offset them more in a fun way, I would do that. But I think that's it. So I will say, still seems a little high. Like I always like to leave like the same amount at the top and the bottom. So maybe I'll bring this J down a little bit. Something like that. Looks good to me. And that little bit of masking will make it look like the J and the Y are behind that little guy. So yeah, there is some setup. So, you know, it's cute and you see the examples and you're like, oh, that's so cute. And then you're like, oh no, hold on. You have to do a lot of masking. But once you've done it once, like I said, nothing's going to happen to them. So you can just, you have your mask ready to go, right? And that looks pretty good, actually. I'll still do twice because I did twice on the other one, but the bottom here looks a little bit not as crisp. What was that? Let me press down more on this bottom portion because apparently I missed it. And I press really hard in the area where you're touching this because it is cardstock, so it kind of leaves a little bump. You really want to make contact so it looks really cute. And that's why I cut right on the line too. So let's remove this and look at that. Isn't that cute? And it looks perfect. I love it. So masking is fun. I just, you know, most of the time don't have patience for it. Okay, let's just be honest. Look at this. It's already trying to tear my mask. Hello, you're supposed to last forever. Okay, it'll still be fine. Okay, let me clean up a little bit. I am going to cut a pink matte layer. I don't know why not. 3 7/8 by 5 7/8. And then we'll color the sky and all that. Oh, I guess while I'm at this, since I have this out, I'm going to use a piece of black cardstock and I'm going to cut it at 6 by 8, right? Because it needs to be 6 inches tall, 8 inches wide, scored at 4 inches, so it ends up being 4 by 6, okay? I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I have my card base again, 6 by 8, scored at 4 inches. And this little guy, I might cut this other one down. I mean, I like the tight matte layers, but this is so tight, especially with this card being as big as it is. So maybe I'll take it down a little bit, but you know, maybe I won't. We'll see. So this is the guy we're going to go ahead and color in while I put things away. And again, just keep these bits with it, and you always have your little mats until, you know, I don't see why they would break down so much that you can't use them anymore. But there you go. Put those guys away. And I guess we'll use, again, the alcoholic markers that are in the kit here. Okay, now let's go, buddies. That's really sticking over here. There we go. All right. Let's think. So I did a pink background, which do you think there's gonna be some pink in here somewhere? But you know what? Probably not. I just got off of making like a little card that had a cute little this one with a little elf, and I'm just thinking pinks and blues and whatever, you know. Anyway, so I have not tested these. I'm just going to assume that they're great. I don't know how I feel about this. I want to make like one green, one red, but then I thought maybe both the same color. Kind of go with that pink over there. Like this light blue would do that, right? Okay, so let's do... Again, I'm pretty sure I have these. It's just a cute bundle. That's what I was going for. Let me open these because sometimes they can be a pain, even though they have this thing. Let's see, that's what happens. So let me open these guys, and the red and the brown for sure, and I'll be right back. All right, so a little pile of plastic over here. I guess I could throw it away, but that's all right. All right, well, let's do this. I'm not going to spend too much time with the letters because, I mean, just depending on what you want to do. Sorry about that. I'm going to go with the darkest. You know, just kind of come around here, maybe a little in there. And then the medium color. Usually I start light, dark, medium, light again, right? But for now, you do want to get close to the color that you just came from, that darker color. Just kind of pull it out a little bit. Oopsie. And this is blue turquoise, guys, if you have this in your stash already. And then you want to blend it all. So you always pull in the color that was there and bring it with you, right? These are all bullet tips, which I prefer. I really like, well, if I can't get a brush tip, I prefer a bullet tip. And then some of them have that sketch tip that's like a really big, like Sharpie marker, which I literally have never used unless the marker is only that. But there you go. I mean, that's blended pretty well. And then the color gets lighter as it dries because that's just how it is. But I'll add in some more dark You can do some little touch-ups if you want. Oh, yeah, touch-up, and then I got out of side of the line. And a little medium. And depending on how dark you want the color, right? If I did that, you're supposed to come back through again with the lightest one. I'm like, this better be my marker paper. I think it is. It just seems like it's taking it in a very weird way today. You know, it's hard to tell after you have gotten into the paper pack. Like, oh, I think this is it, because I always keep it in this one spot. Now, I did get that little bit of blue outside the line, so maybe I'll take a blender and just hold it down. Don't like rub it in, you just hold it down and it'll push that blue back through your paper. Okay, so that's that one. I'm gonna do the exact same thing with the green. It is alpine green, so it's a darker color, so I'm thinking maybe I should only do the medium color, just to keep it kind of light. So maybe just this one, and then the lightest color. It's not like a lime green, you know, that's what I'm trying to say. So maybe just a little something in here. And then maybe go with the lightest green to blend that out, just to keep it bright. Now, of course, I have all these colors in my stash I can play with, but I'm trying to use what's in the kit. So I'll just blend that through. And maybe just leave it like that. All right. And you can also make this be like a third color, because like I can let that sit and then come back through and only hit it in some areas, so then it looks like I did use a medium color, you know? You see what I'm saying? So it's going to be darker around there and lighter in here, and it looks like there's still a color blend. Okay, I am definitely going to clean that up, though. It's kind of getting on my nerves. So let me grab a blender, like I said, and just push some of this messiness that I have here back through. Okay, what I mean by that is just hold it there. You don't have to scrub because you don't want to mess with the paper too much, but like this little green here, just kind of holding it. I'm barely, well, I guess I'm not holding it. I'm kind of, not scrubbing, but I'm lightly touching that. Because if you do just hold it there, what happens is it'll start kind of leaching out, so you have to be careful. But you basically just want to pinpoint where it is that you want to erase, and just kind of leave it there. So I'll kind of hold it for a little bit. But anyway, if you leave it there too long, it'll start just leaching out the color where you do want it. And see, it kind of pushes it back to the back of your cardstock. And that's how that is gone. And then again, it gets lighter as the alcohol dissipates. Okay. All right, this one. This is a thing. Okay, so we have the brown. Again, maybe... I guess you can do like the red inside his little ears. Is that weird? Or just a light brown, right? So maybe you come in with the light brown, the lightest one. This is earth brown, and then the red was dark red blend, and the blue is blue turquoise, and the green is alpine green. So maybe you just do a little bit. See, even that's pretty dark. Now, I will say, since I have my blender out, it's not really, it doesn't blend your colors, but it can soften them. So I think maybe I'll get this and just soften that so it looks like there's some color in there, even though... just to make it different, okay? I'm gonna let that sit there. Let me see what they did with their little guy. I'm gonna try to pull it up over here. I have my computer next to me, so I'm gonna go on HSN real quick and see what they did. Because the muzzle, usually for me, it's like darker, and then this is lighter, dark, you know, antlers, and then obviously the other color. So we don't mind that. But let me see what they did. Okay. Yeah, so that's interesting. So they did kind of something like I'm showing here. And then they did the lightness, but then they didn't bring in that dark in here, which is basically what I was trying to show you here. So let's go ahead and do that. Again, I do mine a little bit different. So I'm going to go with the darkest one, especially when it's something small like this. I just don't put too much into, you know, this kind of thing. I will say his little antlers, I'll probably just go with the darkest for the most part. See, I'm not taking too much care. And then I'll just blend it with a medium, and then that's probably it. And you do generally work on each piece at a time, but I'm going to go with the medium color and just blend that out. There's not a ton of blending going on. They're very similar colors, but I do want to keep this very much like darker, his little antlers. And then here, oh, that was medium already. Okay, so that's the medium color. I'll just kind of come in here again, blending from the dark, bringing it out. Bringing that out, and then use the lightest one Yeah, and definitely look, because a lot of times I'm like, oh no, I used the darkest when I went to use the other. Now, I don't know that they use this, because to be honest, the colors they use still look lighter than even this. But, you know, they didn't say, hey, we only use the markers in the kit. So I'm trying to only use the markers in the kit for you guys. So for this muzzle, and it's kind of dark. Let's go ahead and go with the medium. It doesn't have to be as harsh as I do. I know I usually put some little harsh lines. And then go to the lightest. And I'm going to leave a little area with nothing. Because what I'm going to do again is I'm going to bring that blender. Even though blender's not really a blender, but like I just want to take some of that color away. So just kind of come in here. We'll see what it looks like. If it looks bad, then I'll just be like, oh no, and do something else, right? Again, it looks kind of funky. It looks bad right now, but I'm sure it'll be fine in a moment. Okay, let's do the red for the nose. Probably go dark red, blend into the medium. I'll probably color with that little dot and then just use a white gel pen later, so I'm not going to worry about that little dot right now. And then the lightest. I'm really focusing around here and then go lighter in here, just so that it's a little bit lighter there. Okay. Do we want pink cheeks? I mean, if we're going to do it, we might as well do it again with the lightest. That looks a little harsh, so you can come in and just kind of blend it out. Again, this set does not come with a blender, but you know, something. It makes it look different. That's all I'm looking for. I don't know. Okay, for his little ears, again, this dark it's just a dark brown. So I'm going to go with the mid color and then blend out to the lightest one. Just so there's some differences in the color that we have here. And then light. Again, light is pretty dark. That's alright. Okay. Okay, let's do that. I'll do a little bit more just to add a little more color. And let's make him wear like a red and green scarf, since we have that. So dark red. Let's say the stripes are going to be green. So dark red, dark red. Again, I'm trying to work in little areas at a time. I'm not doing too much. Dark red down in here and there. And then let's go into the medium color. Medium, medium, medium. Not the biggest deal. I did get into the green there. Oh, there's a little red poking out right there. That's one good thing about these little nibs, is that you can get in real well. Okay, and then the lightest red. Let's bring that through. Right in there. We have that little ring around him. I don't know what color I'm going to do with that. But let's get this guy going. Cute. Okay. And in here a little bit. And then the green, I mean, I'm just going to use the medium color green. Just bring that in. Cute. There, there, and there. And if you really want to do your, you know, your shades, you know, maybe go over it again with the same green. Whatever it is. I will say I did miss a little tiny red right here. And then it's so obvious when everything's colored and you're like, oh, I missed the spot. Let's think. I'm thinking about coloring behind him a little bit. And I normally would do that in a blue, but this blue... Sorry guys, I'm trying to think of what we want to do. I already used the blue, you know, for this. I'm going to go with the lightest one. It's not that light. That's the issue I have with this one. But let's just pretend we're going to bring it in here. You can color the whole thing, but I'm going to keep it kind of close to him. And then I'll bring in my blender, which again, you need to have in your stash, to kind of blend that away a little bit. All in here, however far you want it to be. Okay, something like that. I really would like the circle. Maybe we'll do the circle in red just to bring some more red back in. And then just kind of soften that. Actually, I'm not going to use the brush side because this is so tight. Just soften it a little bit. Okay, so wherever I have the blue, I'm going to go in and just kind of try to get rid of some of that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I think that's that. Again, that'll lighten also. And then I'll just take the red and start with maybe the dark red up here. Kind of going this way. Going into the medium red. Get rid of some of that. And in here. Bring that medium red a good amount down this way. Oh my gosh. It's really hard to disappear colors like red once you've gone outside the line, but not impossible. And then the lightest red. I'll just kind of grab some of that. Trying to be careful here. Going around there. Okay, and I'm going to try to disappear some of that red that I got where I don't want it. I'll be right back. Okay guys, I mean, unless I'm missing something, that's it. I did say I was going to use a white gel pen. Let me see if I have one that's ready to go. And just a little little dot in the nose, right? And maybe a little something up here, I don't know. Just add a little little something extra since we have it here. A little something there. I mean, you can put it wherever you want, but I think that's good. Okay. In the meantime, I also had cut this down, so I took 1/8 of an inch around off, so it is 3 5/8 by 5 5/8, right? Just to have a little more of that pink showing. And I'm just going to glue it down. If you want to pop it up on a panel, you know, on foam adhesive, that'd be great. And look at all that. You're supposed to color this so much that basically essentially the same amount of colors on the back side. I don't think I've ever done that, but I do mention that every time because that would be the true color of the marker, that you saturate so much that that happens. So something to think about. This is cute. It is very flat right now. I mean, if you want to throw in some little, you know, maybe some sequins, some little dots, some pearls, some enamel dots, you know, that kind of stuff, you can definitely do that. I guess I should back up a little bit. It's a little claustrophobic, is it not? I mean, if you want to go around the whole word joy with a marker, kind of like we did on the inside of this little guy. I just didn't want to bring more blue in because we already did the blue here. Gray, the gray in the kit is another one you can do that with, but then that's not fun, right? So, all right, guys. So we did our masking, our coloring all together, and hopefully that was fun for you guys to watch. So I will see you all at the next one. I'll have images coming up. Again, the bundle will be linked there. Bye now.